Ike for president, Ike for president, Ike for president, Ike for president. You like Ike, I like Ike, everybody likes Ike for president. Hang out the banner, beat the drum, we'll take Ike to Washington.
On the freedom metric, we lag in sharing political power among all citizens. We rank a shameful 100th in the world when it comes to discrimination against minorities. While anyone is capable of reaching the American dream, and clearly anyone can rise to power within our political system, it's still skewed towards one demographic. Our First Amendment rights are being taken away now too. If you say the wrong thing on social media, you'll get ostracized, or fired from your job, or even assaulted. Cancel culture is taking over America right now.
That's true. And that is very true. Cancel culture, getting fired from your job for saying things. I will say, okay. So with the First Amendment, you do have the freedom of speech, right? But having the freedom of speech, that protects you. It protects you, but not in a private business. And that's kind of where we've got so much privatization or what. I don't know. But yeah, you got private businesses. And so with the private business, you are able to, dictate how you run it, and especially with a lot of states and a lot of places that have a right to work clause, or there are right to work states, or they have those types of programs where there is no union, there is no anything like that. You can be fired for any reason at any time, and a lot of times you have to sign a contract. A lot of places you will sign a contract that is a like no compete clause, meaning you won't work for anybody else, do, side jobs. Say if, let's say that you do heating and air conditioning and you have your license and you were working for a company, and on the weekend you wanted to go and make a few extra dollars, and put in a heating and air conditioning for someone else. Well, you can't do that because that's compete and everything else. And if you are caught doing that, then you're pretty much fired. There are a lot of places that, other companies that will have no compete clauses, but they will, say, hey, as long as you're outside of certain mile radius, then we don't care that you're doing work there outside of, your normal time here. There's a lot of things that a lot of private businesses have implemented, so that way they can pretty well control you, without getting around the law or the Constitution.
And politicians can take away our rights with one stroke of a pen, and they're doing that right now.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it.
We should probably get a big fat C when it comes to our environmental score. We rank first in greenhouse gas emissions. We only have the world's 40th best water supply. But in terms of overall pollution, when you measure chemicals in our water, the contamination in our soil, and particulate matter UGM3, whatever that means, we're super good, like almost at the bottom. Yay us.
I'm a volunteer for the environment. I'm going to clean up some trash one day.
Wait, you are a volunteer, or you're going to be a volunteer?
Oh, I have a good soul.
I don't think you can say that about yourself, Karen. I think other people need to say that about you. So weird. She's crazy. Education-wise, it's all...
I'd like to make a note here. Excuse me. I'd like to make a note here before we go further. I personally have adopted, and we have, I don't know if you guys have anything like this, where you have like adopt a highway or adopt a part of the road where you can go in and, well, you can... Okay, so you can apply for the state to the road transportation department. This was when I lived in Arkansas. So okay, you fill out the application to apply to adopt a 1 mile or however many miles you want. It's a 1 mile minimum, but you can adopt a mile of highway, and they'll put up a sign and everything else in your name or in your company's name or whatever, and you're responsible for cleaning up the trash and picking up the trash and everything like that in that 1 mile section of road, and you have to do it a minimum of 2 times per year. They provide you with vests, they provide you with trash bags, And all you really have to do is, pick up the trash, put it in trash bags, and then you put it all by the signs and you call them and they will come by and pick it up and take it away. I have done that. I've got proof of it and everything else. So, not everybody in America is like that. But then again, a lot of times it's the jails. Whenever I was incarcerated, that was one of the things I did. And that's actually why I adopted a highway, was because while I was incarcerated, I had to go out and pick up trash along the side of the highway. And I had to walk through neighborhoods and all that and pick up trash in people's yards. It was crazy seeing just how much trash there really was along the side of the roads. And I personally have thrown trash out, and I'm not going to hide that. So during that time, I felt that whenever I got out, that part of me being the person that I am today, moving forward and progressing in my life, that whenever I got out, I wanted to adopt a section of highway, and so that way I could continue doing that and continue doing something good and positive and giving back. So that's what I did. I got out and I adopted a section of highway.
All over the place. We rank number 1 in the world for quality of our universities, but we rank 91st in the world when it comes to access to quality basic education. Our kids get an education roughly similar to what kids in Uzbekistan and Mongolia get, and that's not good. How do our kids compare to the kids across the world? About average. In reading, we're 11th in the world, and in science, we're close to that, but our math scores are middle of the road. Latvian and Czech Republic kids are smarter in math than we are. But you can't blame our schools as much as you can our family structure. Research has shown that 60% of school success is determined by an American kid's upbringing. Bad family structure, poor living conditions, and rough neighborhoods matter 6 times more than the quality of the teacher or the school itself. Well, we know it's not our household income.
Yeah, and you guys know about how I feel about school. If you don't, check out that video, and I'm going to have it posted above as well. The school I went to, and again, going back to, because I grew up and went to school in the third worst city in the state that I'm at. You can only imagine how bad the school was. And again, that goes back to the stabbing. The kid that tried to stab the other kid because there was a gang, attempted gang fight and whatnot. Just normal life, right? Normal. It is for me. To me, it's just every day. It don't bother me. It's just the way that I grew up, and it's just what you see. I guess you become, that's what you're accustomed to or desensitized to. It doesn't bother you.
I'm holding our kids back.
It does bother
we're the
you,
6th
but
wealthiest overall when it comes to average household wealth. So it has to be our family values, which are the main cause for our school failures.
Hold up. Let's go back here. All right, average household wealth. I'm doing some math in my head. I'm sorry.
Wealth. So it has to be our family values, which are the main cause for our school failures. One big thing stands out here: family structure. It's estimated that 2% of U.S. kids have a parent in prison, which is crazy high. That's like 1 in 50 kids. 2-parent families have been proven to have a significant impact on a kid's success. Here in America, we have a high level of early marriage couples, and in a majority of U.S. states, kids can still get married before the age of 18. The divorce rate among U.S. households is going down over time, but we still rank 5th in the world for divorce rates at about 46%. Why? Well, Americans can legally marry so young these days, and divorces are much easier to navigate through now, and the social stigma of a divorce in the U.S. no longer exists. And parents are distracted by trying to get ahead, by trying to please others, and by social media and TV. We have, apparently, the highest rate of kids living in single-parent households of all other nations. Almost a quarter of U.S. kids under the age of 18 live with one.
I'm not going to pause really much of this. You just see me shaking my head because I agree with this stuff. I'm divorced. I had a kid right out of high school. I'm talking like my ex-wife and I, we were both 18. We graduated, received our diplomas from high school in June, and our first daughter was born in August, right? But, so we got married, and whenever we got married, of course, we still both had to be 18, but we got married while still in high school. So before we graduated, we were already legally married and everything else through the state. So, yeah. Statistics, baby. I'm part of them. and I've been incarcerated. Man, just a good old statistic of the United States. But while I might be a statistic of the United States and what this guy's saying, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that I'm really a bad person. And I think that if you guys watch some of my other videos, and if you haven't, you get what I'm saying. But I don't think that I, in my future and my progress and things that I've done since then, in my views and outlook on life and the way that I am with my children and the relationships that I have, I guess that's why you guys say that I should move from here. But I mean, I don't know anything different. And as far as I'm an American. That's all I know. So that's part of me learning. That's part of me, traveling there and really seeing and experiencing it. I know it might only be for a week, might be for 2 weeks, but because depending on finances, I might take I don't know. I was going to say I might take a week off with my vacation and a week with no pay, but I don't know if they would let me do that. All right, let's get back to the video.
One parent and no other adult, which is 3 times higher than the world average. So maybe the eroding American family structure is setting up our kids for failure. Chasing the American dream puts undue stress on Americans. We work way too many hours. 1 in 10 Americans works more than 50 hours a week, which is the 10th highest rate in the world. And our system of support for working parents is weak. Companies in a lot of other countries give far more paid leave for new parents and much more vacation time and sick time than we do.
Yes, you all do.
And then there's this. Both parents work full-time in nearly half of all U.S. households.
Yes,
and
they
that's
do.
Up from 31% in 1970. And those are only the households where there are 2 parents at home. And still, nearly a third of kids in our country live in poverty, people. If you're not out there sitting in traffic trying to get ahead in America, there's a decent chance you're also struggling or homeless. Homelessness in our country is going down for the most part, although in some of our major cities it's skyrocketing in places like New York, LA, Seattle, and Portland. More than 500,000 Americans sleep without shelter each night. All of this, all of the problems that we've talked about so far, it's been going on forever. They predate our current administration and have grown under the leadership of both parties. Of course, we're trying to fix things all the time.
I appreciate you for saying that it's something that's gone on for many, many years. And not only for many years, but it's also a problem from both sides of the party. And I appreciate you for saying that and recognizing that. Because it is. It's not, you can't say that it's a problem that only happened within the last 4 years or 5 years or 6 years. You can't say it's a problem that's only happened from one side, because if that was the case, then we would have, it don't work like that. So I appreciate you for saying that. It's an overall problem that we have as a country, that we have as humans, that we have as the way that we have progressed and changed our values, our views, and our perspectives, our goals, and what we feel is best for ourselves versus best for everyone else. All these things in power, money, and everything else has really led to where we are now. I mean, that's just common sense. But at the same time, what do you do and how do you really fix the problem? That ultimately is the question. We could talk about this all day long, but we got to try and figure out a way. We got to try to figure out a way to make it not so bad. If you want to consider it as bad as you want to consider it. Everybody's viewpoint on how bad it really is in your own view an objection.
Kids are being asked to exercise more in school, and laws are passed banning certain foods. There's a war on drugs, like we said earlier. Schools are constantly tweaking things to improve scores and involvement. New homeless programs are developed to try to help house people and transition them more effectively. And new laws hit the books to regulate emissions and pollution. But are we succeeding? I mean, maybe the problem isn't the laws and programs and initiatives. What if the problem is us? You can't change laws and make changes to the way a country runs and expect change unless the people change with it. And you can't change people unless they want to change people. Maybe the reason we're falling behind other nations isn't the way we run our country. Maybe it's the people in it, the way we act and behave, and the choices we make. Face it, the American society is kind of broken right now. Now, earlier I did an optimistic video where I called America the best country on earth, but that was mostly just nationalistic pandering. Look, I fly the flag high and proud.
I might have to check that out just to
myself,
see what
but
your
facts are
pandering
facts.
was.
We have a lot of things that we're doing wrong. I mean, sure, we're rich and we're proud, but are we nice to each other? Are we complacent? Do we even give a crap anymore?
Nah.
I mean, have Americans thrown in the towel?
Yeah.
And don't be so sad. Smile. We're gonna be okay.
This is
Probably.
I'm sorry. This is
We're kind of bad.
it's comical because I guess I feel like this is telling a lot of truth. There's no plain and simple other way around it. He's telling a lot of truth, guys. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this. This is 10 reasons why you should never move to the United States. I mean, until I've been other parts of the world, and until I've traveled to other countries and really experienced it, I can't really truly put that true feeling, you know what I'm saying? I can watch videos all day long, or just like how, we relate to someone that reads a book. Just because you read the book and you understand it and you can recite the book forwards and backwards doesn't mean that you understand the street knowledge. And understanding the street knowledge is completely different than the book. So watching it here and listening and learning a bunch of different people's perspectives can only prepare me so much for what the true experience is, going to other countries and being there firsthand and feeling it, seeing it, believing it, touching it, tasting it, smelling it, everything, yeah. But like I said, I'm coming. I don't know when. It's going to be next year. I promise you that. 2022, I'm coming somewhere, but I will be leaving the United States for the first time in my life. I'm making that a priority. I'm going to do it. I'm saying it now. I'm putting it out here now so that way I can hopefully be held accountable, right? And yeah, I don't know where, but we're going to figure it out. I'm excited. But yeah, this is 10 reasons why you should never move to the United States, and I can't wait to continue learning more, especially more about other countries. It's me, Bryson P. I've talked enough because I've had to make this into a 2-part video. I appreciate if you've watched both parts. Like I said, I've made this a very long video because I've had a lot to say, because I've had a lot built up. I've wanted to make videos, and it's just whenever I got other things personal, I end up throwing in the towel at everything and shut down everything until I can get kind of through what I'm working on, and then that motivation kind of ramps back up. And it's not that I have a lack of motivation, it's just everything gets put on hold. So that's why I'm talking so much. That's why this is such a long video. I'm repeating myself now. So it's me, Bryson P. If you enjoyed it, that's great. If you didn't, that's cool. No hard feelings. I appreciate you for at least making it to this point to hear this much. And I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.